The trailer for the upcoming episode of the amazing digital circus immediately caught the attention of fans because of one small but extremely important detail. While watching closely, many viewers noticed a very interesting scene involving Kinger. In the trailer, Kinger is standing there in the same nervous and unstable state that we have become used to throughout the series. However, something unusual appears beside him, his wife, Queenie. For longtime fans of the show, this moment is extremely significant. Queenie was first visually introduced in episode 3, but the very first mention of her actually happened much earlier, back in the pilot episode. Since then, the mystery surrounding her character has grown bigger and bigger. Fans have been building theories for months about whether some of the previously abstracted characters could eventually return to the circus. Now that we understand the mechanics of the digital circus much better, that possibility does not seem impossible anymore. In fact, the system of the circus suggests that a return could theoretically happen. Every character inside this strange digital world is essentially a line of code that represents a person trapped inside the system. When that code becomes corrupted or damaged, the character abstracts and turns into a chaotic monster. But if the code could somehow be repaired or restored, there is a real chance that the character might return to their original state. That alone opens the door for the potential comeback of several characters who were previously thought to be gone forever. One of the biggest hints supporting this theory comes from the mental state of Kinger himself. Before Queenie became abstracted, Kinger was shown to be a relatively normal character. His paranoia, confusion, and constant anxiety only started to appear after losing his wife. That emotional trauma clearly broke something inside him. However, recent events in the story suggest that Kinger may slowly be regaining control of his mind. In episode 7, we saw a major moment where he no longer needed darkness to think clearly. This is a very important detail because earlier in the series Kinger could only calm down when the lights were off. The fact that he can now remain rational in normal conditions suggests that he might be preparing to take a much bigger role in the story. Some fans believe that a large system failure inside the digital circus could happen soon, possibly triggered by the increasing glitches caused by Kane. These glitches could create instability in the system, and that instability might give Kinger an opportunity to access parts of the code that were previously unreachable. If that happens, he might attempt something extremely risky, restoring the data of abstracted characters. This would explain why Queenie appears in the trailer. Her return might not simply be a memory or hallucination, but rather the first successful restoration of an abstracted character. Of course, there is still another possibility. Episode 8 is rumored to focus heavily on memories and the past, meaning Queenie's appearance could also be part of a flashback sequence showing Kinger's life before everything went wrong. Even if that turns out to be the case, those memories could reveal important details about how the circus was originally created. All of this points toward one major conclusion: Episode 8 will likely act as the biggest setup for the finale of the series. According to many theories, the next chapter will not simply continue the story, it will prepare everything for Episode 9, which is expected to be the grand conclusion of the amazing digital circus. If the developers of the circus, including Kinger, Ribbit, and Kaufmo, were all brought together again, their combined knowledge could finally reveal the true escape formula. Each of them may have worked on different aspects of the digital world: visual design,